What's up guys, I'm Mr. Audio, and if you're new here on this channel we talk about music production, sound design, mixing, mastering, and pretty much anything to get your tracks ready for release. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss one of these. Let's get into it. Alright, so this video I'm making now is in response to a question on a comment of one of my videos that I made not too long ago about vocals. And it's about how to gain stage vocals to a stereo 2-track beat. Now, there's no set way to do this. There's no arbitrary values that I can say set this at, because even though you're using Wave's Vocal Writer, what I would do is I would take away everything, the whole beat, just have the vocal production. Obviously, this is after you've pitch corrected everything and time aligned everything. But once you've got everything to where it's satisfactory, when you're ready for the mixing stage, turn the beat off completely. Just lower the volume all the way down. Bring the fader to 0. All right? And then what I want you to do is once you got the vocal sounding really nice, even, and consistent, when you're at that stage where you're smoothing out the waveform, and everything looks good, and you've rendered out the audio, and you're at that stage where you want to bring the beat in, you slowly bring up the volume of the beat against the vocal. Now, once the beat is sitting just right or close, you stop, all right? Now, this might be where the beat's just a little too loud, or the vocal's just a little too loud, or it's just right. If it's just right, you might not need to do anything. If the beat's too quiet at one point and you turn it up, it's too loud. If you're at that stage where you're trying to mess around, you just can't get the right volume, you might have some frequency masking issues that need to be addressed. How I do this, if there's only two elements like the beat and the vocal, it makes things really easy. Because there's only two things to worry about. All right, there's the vocal and then there's the beat. All right, not much going on. So, there's a few tools in mind that speed up this workflow to fix these issues. All right, there's plugins like Soothe 2, Isotope Neutron 4, Isotope's Neutron 3, Nectar 3 Plus by Isotope, and pretty much any EQ or dynamic EQ that you can think of. Now, why did I mention all of these other plugins if you can do this with a dynamic EQ? Well, the answer is workflow. They easily speed up the process of mitigating any frequency masking issues. With Soothe 2, you can sidechain the beat to the vocal and cut out frequencies dynamically to let the vocal sit just right in the mix. Now, Isotope's Nectar 3 Plus also has a vocal unmasking feature that analyzes the track and does a similar thing. And you can set it to static mode or dynamic mode. And I have a video I'll link up here that shows how to do that. Now, also, you can mitigate frequency masking issues with just an EQ. So I'm going to show you with these two examples on how you can eliminate frequency masking issues. Let's get into it. All right, so the first one is with just an EQ. It's nothing special, but see this little headphone thing here? We're going to click that. Make sure your analyzer is on, because we're going to want to see the analyzer. And we're going to solo out the vocal, and then we're going to pick a band that we want to solo out and scan with. And wherever the vocal sounds best boosted, I consider that the vocal presence. That's where you're going to want to cut on the other track. So let's check this out.
Pull up hard knocks, take care. Dedications, grinding all night, past the sleep. Wish when I can, when I'm on my vacation. True to this game, you will see my dedication. How I move. Pull up hard knocks, take care, obligations. Grinding all night, past the sleep, deprivation. Wish when I can, when I'm on my vacation.
Alright, it sounds best about right here, at about 1600 to 1700 for this particular track. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this EQ, Command C. I'm going to turn this EQ off, and I'm going to bring this to the instrumental track, and I'm going to invert the scale by -100. Now you can obviously dial this back or however much you want, but let's just start out with -100 and see how that sounds. Now we should be able to push this beat further. Let's turn this off to make sure we're not doing anything first, and then let's just play it and see if I can get the beat to mask the vocals by turning it too loud. And then let's turn this EQ8 on and see if it does anything.
Pull up hard knocks, take care, obligations. Grinding all night, past the sleep, deprivation. Wish when I can, when
Obviously I'm clipping. Let's turn the master down a little bit so I'm not clipping.
pull up hard knocks, take care,
I'd say that's masking the vocals pretty good. Now I'm going to play it, and in the middle of it, I'm going to turn on the EQ. Notice the difference that it makes.
Hard knocks, take care, obligations, grinding all night, past the sleep deprivation, wish when I can.
Now let me try boosting that area in the vocal. Let's turn this EQ on so it just kind of sits in this little pocket right here.
Hard knocks, take care, obligations, grinding all night, past the sleep deprivation, wish when I can.
See how big of a difference that makes already with just a stock EQ? Nothing special. Now, for bonus points, what we're going to do is we're going to grab my dynamic sidechain EQ. We're going to throw it on the instrumental track, grab this envelope follower, and toss it on the vocal bus. What that's going to do is it's going to follow the vocal waveform. Now we need that to happen so that it can dynamically remove frequencies wherever I set this. So let's say that was at like what, 670, boom. All right, now let's cut out some frequencies and see how well this works.
Hard knocks, take care, obligations, grinding all night, past the sleep deprivation, wish when I can, when I'm on my vacation, true to this game, you just see my dedication, how I move, I just move how I move,
that's pretty cool. Obviously, it doesn't sound good like this because I turned the beat way up for this example, but I wanted to show some drastic examples of what you could do with just stock plugins, especially Ableton stock plugins. They're cut above, I feel. Anyway, that's the video, guys. I hope this one helped. Thanks for watching, and if you stuck around to the end, there's some free stuff for Ableton users down in the description, also paid products on my website. I'll see you guys in the next one. Mr. Audio, out.